Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Mrs. Anand from NISCARE. Today I am going to talk on the module on performance evaluation from the paper Public Libraries. So students, let's start what we are going to learn from this module. To understand the need for measuring the performance of public libraries, describes the model for measuring the performance, understand how various services and activities of libraries are evaluated, and describe various models used for evaluation of library services and activities, know methods and techniques available to carry out library evaluation, and apply these methods and techniques to evaluate library as a whole, its staff, resources and services. Well, in this competitive environment, only effective organization can prosper and survive. Emergence of computer and communication technology and widespread use of internet has brought revolutionary changes in every sphere. Public libraries are no exception to this change and are continuously transforming and evolving to survive. Libraries have to do this in order to maintain prominent position as a center of knowledge, culture, education and lifelong learning for the community they are required to serve. In this profound societal and technological change, regular performance evaluation of libraries is a must to preserve the visibility of and viability of the public libraries. There are stakeholders who believe that in this paperless society, traditional libraries have no role to play. In such cases, evaluation of a library and demonstrating its benefit become crucial for the survival of the library itself. Hence, it is necessary to go beyond the evaluation of specific library service and attempt to assess the total impact of the library on the lives of its user community as a whole. An evaluation of the total library or library as a system demonstrates how effective the library is to its user community. Secondly, funding any library is an expensive proposition. Funding covers cost of print and electronic resources, building equipment and ongoing cost of recruiting and training staff, and benefit gained from funding any library are increasingly being questioned by the funding agencies. The questions raised by these agencies are the following. Does the investment in libraries represent value for the money? Are there demonstrable tangible benefits that arise from the library use? Does the library meet the needs of its user community? So, the primary means of describing the value of the library has occurred in the areas of accomplishment, economic benefit, and for public library, societal impact of the library on the lives of the users. So, this module deals with measuring performance of a public library as an organization and covers need and purpose of library evaluation, methods and techniques available for evaluation, and how to apply these techniques to evaluate the library as a whole, its collection, staff and services. Now, let's see what is performance measurement and performance evaluation. Performance measurement of a library deals with monitoring and reviewing the job accomplished by a library, progress made towards its pre-established goals, and the impact of the library on the user community as a whole. Whereas evaluation is the process of determining the worth of and value of something, it consists of comparing what is to what ought to be. In general, performance evaluation of a library involves comparing function and services of a library to a set of standards and norms established for such functions and services. For example, if a program or service of a library is evaluated, then the experience of a group of library users is evaluated in order to draw some conclusion. If overall performance of the library is being evaluated, then evaluation would comprise comparing one library to a group of peer libraries. Why there is need for measuring performance of public libraries? It's because public libraries supported by public funds are under obligation to report to the funding agencies and other government bodies about their performance and the impact they are making on the lives of user community. For this, they measure the efficiency of the library to inform that the funds are utilized properly and at the same time justify the requirement of additional funds. To fulfill this need, it measures the library's performance in relation to pre-established goals, measures staff performance in meeting users' needs, measures quality and utility of a product or service in relation to cost, and finds out adequacy of printed and electronic resources in meeting users' needs. In addition to that, performance measurement measures libraries' efficiency in getting and increasing funding resources. It measures libraries' efficiency in retaining qualified and dedicated staff, and it measures libraries' efficiency in adapting to new technologies. Thus, performance measurement in libraries helps in detecting and correcting problems in achieving goals and objectives of the library, improving the efficiency of various products and services offered, improving the collection, efficiency of staff and various departments. Thus, the overall objective of the performance measurement is to increase the efficiency of a library. How a performance measurement is carried out? There are several modules available for measuring the efficiency of a library. For instance, goal-based model measure the efficiency of a library from the point of view of jobs accomplished by the library in relation to its pre-established goal. The second, critical constituency model, which focuses the measurement on identifying and fulfilling the needs of various constituent units like library authorities, library staff and the users. Whereas system resource model focuses the measurement on library collection, including printed as well as electronic resources. While human resource model measures the efficiencies of the library from the point of view of availability and retention of competent professional staff to carry out various activities of the library. Open or natural system model focuses the measurement on libraries' ability to adapt to threats and survive, and considers the library efficient if it accepts the challenges and change accordingly. Whereas decision process model focuses the measurement from the point of view of decisions made by the library and considers the library efficient if it involves the entire staff in the decision-making process. Whereas customer service model focuses the measurement on the extent to which customers' needs are satisfied. There is an ISO standard which provides a set of 40 performance indicators for measuring the efficiency of a library. The standard specifies 4 broad areas for measuring the efficiency of the library. These areas are library resources and infrastructure, represented by 10 indicators, use of library services by the user, represented by 12 indicators, and efficiency of library services, represented by 13 indicators. And the fourth one is library's potential for sustainability and development in constantly changing environment. Library resources and infrastructure is represented by 10 indicators. These are size of user area in the library for study and research, availability of user workspace, and opening hour of the libraries. 3 indicators. Then quality of collection is measured by expenditure on information provision per capita, availability of required titles, ratio of requests received to the requests sent out on the interlibrary, including interlibrary lending, including immediate availability of the required title. 5 indicators. Staff resources and quality of library website is represented by 1 indicator each. This aspects deal with how library services are accepted. This perspective is represented by 12 indicators: market penetration of the library, user satisfaction, and number of library visits per capita. These are used as general indicators. Then seat occupancy is the indicator for library as a place. Attractiveness of physical collection is evaluated by using loan data. There are 4 indicators like collection use, percentage of stock not used, loans per capita, and percentage of loans to external users. Whereas evaluation of electronic collection is measured by using download data, such as number of content units downloaded per capita, adequacy of library information services are measured against attendance at users' training sessions and reference question asked per capita. Attendances are also used as criterion for attractiveness of library events. This aspect deals with the cost effectiveness of the services. This perspective is represented by 13 indicators. Libraries' operating expenditure is set in relation to users' visits and total collection use. Acquisition costs are compared to staff cost in order to assess whether sufficient part of the budget is spent on the collection. There are 4 indicators for this: cost per user, cost per visit, cost per use, and ratio of cost to staff cost. Efficiency of collection building is calculated as cost per download and cost per document processed. Efficiency of processes is evaluated as per speed and reliability of processes. Speed indicators cover speed of acquisition, media processing, staff productivity in media processing, lending and interlibrary loans. Reliability of processes cover reference fill rate and shelving accuracy. There are 2 indicators for that. Potential and development. Are there sufficient potential for future development of a library? This aspect evaluates library's potential for development. This perspective is important in times of constant change, as it assesses library's capability to cope with such changes. The potential for development is measured on one hand against library's input in electronic resource services, and on the other hand against the library's success in obtaining funds from funding agencies as well as in generating funds from other sources. So this perspective is represented by 5 indicators. 2 indicators for electronic services, that is 1 indicator for percentage of acquisition expenditure spent on electronic services, and 1 indicator for percentage of library staff providing and developing electronic services, and 1 indicator for staff development, that is attendance at training session per staff member, and 2 indicators for budget, 1 for percentage of library means received from special grants or income generation, and one indicator for percentage of institutional means allocated to the library. The standard provides detailed guidelines on how to implement these performance indicators in libraries. It provides definition of each performance indicator along with its concise description and method of collecting and analysis of data along with suitable examples and related bibliography. The standard can be used for measuring the performance as well as evaluation of public libraries. Performance evaluation of the library involves comparing functions and services of the library with set of standards and norms established for such function and services. A number of models have been developed and many of them have been useful in evaluating library functions and services. For instance, Blaise-Cronin model suggests that library can focus its evaluation on cost, benefits and effectiveness. Jose Marie Griffith and Donald King model suggest 5 evaluation perspectives, which are the library, users, organization to which library belongs, industry and society. And one of the oldest and most frequently used evaluation model in libraries is Orr's evaluation model. Here input, process, output and outcome model is applicable in public library setting as well. As you are aware, when a library is established, it is provided with set of resources. These resources are organized and directed so that they become transformed and have capability to provide set of services. These set of services are utilized by the end user. These services have potential to make positive beneficial impact or effect on the individual, community and as well as organization. In Orr's model, here input measures can be broadly grouped into 5 categories: budget, staff, collection, facilities and technologies. So input measures are measurable and can be quantified. Then process measure focus on the activities that transform resources into products and services. Output measures indicate the degree to which library and its services are being utilized. This is often measured by counting the volume of activity in the library, such as use of services, use of collection, use of facilities, and visit to the library's website, etc. And output measures are measurable and be compiled, counted or gathered. Then outcome indicates the effect of library and its services on the user. Outcome occurs first on the individuals and then in the larger context for organization or community as a whole. Outcome that may occur in the individual may include changes in his attitude, skill, knowledge, behavior and status or condition. However, outcome or impacts are often not easily measurable. Now going to the methods of evaluation, both quantitative and qualitative methods are used for evaluation studies. Quantitative methods gather statistical data by using known quantities to collect data. The resultant data is then subjected to analysis. Tools used for quantitative evaluation methods are counting, measuring, surveys, and transaction log analysis. Counting. Libraries have been counting things for a long time. For example, the counts are reflected as input measures such as budget, number of staff, number of workstations, size of library collection, size of building, etc. Or as an output measures such as count of circulation, number of reference questions answered, number of people visiting the library, etc. A variety of means are used to capture the counts. Reports may be generated by an automated library system. A physical counter may be located at the gate, or staff member may take a tick mark on a form. So this is how the counts are captured. Measurement. Measuring deals with understanding and improving a particular process. Examples of processes are cataloging and physical preparation of new material, reshelving of items returned from circulation, loaning of materials, etc. When attempting to understand and improve a process, a method known as DMAIC, that is defined, measure, analyze, improve and control, is recommended. Then transaction log analysis. Most computer systems keep a log of all transactions input from the user and system outputs. These transaction logs are analyzed. All transactions that have occurred during a particular period of time, say a day, a week, or a month, or a year, can be used for analysis because the computer can quickly calculate the data. Tools used for evaluation studies are surveys, sampling, focus group, interviews, observations, and case studies. Let us study what all these are. Surveys are used to gather information about different aspects of services in a variety of library settings. These usually take the form of questionnaires given to a portion of library users. Survey instruments are helpful in determining opinion and attitude of users about services. They are not helpful in describing why a library system is functioning effectively. Sampling. Sampling refers to the selection of a random or targeted population to survey or include in a study. This technique is useful for analyzing components of reference services, such as type of questions user asks, who asks the question, and how questions are resolved. Focus group. Focus group involves gathering selected individuals to provide qualitative data through focused discussion led by an impartial facilitator. Interviews. Interviews involve personal interaction between the librarian and the user. Interviewees include experts, focus group, as well as individuals. In structured interview, same questions and instructions are repeated with different groups, and this provides reliable data. Unstructured interview closely resembles natural conversation. Neither the question nor the response categories are determined in advance. Questions emerge from the interview as it develops. This method has a great degree of flexibility. Respondents are free to express themselves in language that suits them. An unstructured interview is useful in exploratory studies and for determining the actual feelings of people. Observation. Observation is a methodology that notes factual conditions or behavior through personal scrutiny. It is used in both obstructive and unobstructive. Observation is a methodology that notes factual conditions or behavior through personal scrutiny. It is used in both obtrusive and unobtrusive studies. In reference services evaluation, observations are often used in studies that utilizes anonymous researcher to ask typical reference questions from reference librarians and then record the results. Observation technique can be used along with survey method. Case studies. Case studies thoroughly describe a single situation by utilizing a variety of methods such as interviews, use of documents or records, and obtrusive and unobtrusive observation. Case study provides an in-depth understanding of one particular group or organization. Evaluating library collection. Library collection is evaluated to determine the strength and weakness of library collection in terms of size and quality of collection, use and value to the library user as well as potential user. Evaluating reference and information services. Reference and information services are assessed on the basis of volume, cost, quality, and benefit to the library users. Analysis of total number of reference transactions handled during a specified period provides an insight into the use and demand for reference and information services. This is how these services are evaluated. Technical services in the library involves cataloging, classification, and processing of physical materials that are added to the library collection. Evaluation of technical services cover aspects such as time and cost of processing the material, workflow analysis, which deals with how material flows in technical services area, and comparing the efficiency of operation with a set of peer libraries. Evaluating online services. Online services cover online public access catalog, OPAC, and website of the library. OPAC is evaluated on the basis of layout, functionality, ease of use, and terminology. A library website is evaluated on the basis of its layout, functionality, and usability. More services and functions are added to the library website, more important the usability becomes. Now, what is usability? The interaction between an individual and an automatic system like website is called an interface. There are 5 attributes of a usable interface. It should be easy to learn, efficient to use, easy to remember, and causes few errors and is pleasant to use. So students, let us now summarize what we have learnt in this module. Public libraries supported by public funds are under obligation to report to the funding agency about their performance. Whereas increasing cost of print as well as electronic resources on one hand and associated budget constraint on the other hand put great pressure on the libraries to find additional fundings. So libraries attempt to achieve this by demonstrating their value to the funding agency, by reporting about their performance and the impact they are making on the lives of user community. To measure their performance and evaluation and their function and services, libraries use various performance measurement and evaluation models. Most commonly used performance measurement model by public libraries are goal-based model and system resource model. And of various performance evaluation models, ORS, input, process, output and outcome evaluation model is preferred the most by public libraries. Libraries use both quantitative as well as qualitative methods to measure and evaluate their performance. And there is an ISO standard on performance indicators which specifies a set of 40 performance indicators in 4 areas: that is resources and infrastructure. Second is use of services. Third is efficiency of services. And fourth is potential for development to measure and performance of a libraries. The performance measurement and evaluation of a library helps in detecting and correcting problems, in achieving goals and objectives of a library, and improving efficiency of various products and services. So, performance evaluation therefore should be carried out on continuous basis rather as one-time activities. We do hope that you have grasped the information content of this module. Thank you so much.